Shout out to TLP Sports Club, baby. Shout out BWB. BWB. Bandwagon Buffs. BWB, baby. Shout out to Bandwagon Buffs. Shout out to TLP Sports, man. Let's go.
TLP Sports, man.
Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon Buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Billion. Family, welcome to the Liberian Perspective. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. Look at the bottom of your screen and cop your BWB merch so that you can rep the most educated, well-informed, least delusional fan base in all, and I mean all, of college football. Don't buy the hype. Buy BWB, Bandwagon Buffs. All right, family, so I gotta go ahead and get into this video real quick, so that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. So Buff Nation, BWB, if you haven't recognized by now, I am giving you inside detailed information about this team. I'm bringing you the nitty-gritty stuff, the numbers. I'm bringing you interviews, stuff that you have to know, because we are 20-something more days left until kickoff. September the 2nd is almost here. So I'm bringing you a lot of information, a lot of insightful information to help us. So when game starts, we know these players. We know them in and out. So today, I want to talk about the safeties. The last man standing. The guy in the back that, if they pass him, it's more than likely going to be a touchdown. Today, I want to do a reaction video on Trevor Woods' interview. He is one of our safeties. How deep are our safeties for real? This footage is coming from Adam Mustard Tiger. He covers the Buffs. His handle is going to be at buffstampede.com. That is the YouTube channel, so you can go to that channel and subscribe. Salute, Adam. Thank you for this footage. Appreciate the work that you do with the Buffs. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into this interview.
Trevor, we heard last week Coach say that, you know, ask the guys that were here last year how different it is. So how different is this camp compared to last year?
And I think I said in spring, you know, it was like we almost had a whole new team, and you know, even more of those guys are gone. So I mean, it's just it's a whole different vibe. You know, we're bringing a winning culture.
The safety room is pretty deep. You guys added a bunch of new guys in the summer. What's the competition like in the room? There's a lot of guys with starting experience all over the country.
Yeah, it's good. We push each other. You know, we always go. I mean, you know, we got three. We a lot of times have three safeties on the field. Sometimes even four. So, you know, if you can play, you know, coach is gonna put you on the field. So you know, it's a good competition. We all push each other.
How different is Charles?
All right, so off the bat, guys, you can hear in the background, we all love you. We love you, Trevor Woods. I wanted to speak a little bit on that, guys. You can hear his teammates, people who know him. You can hear them screaming, we love you, Trevor Woods. And the reason why I wanted to highlight this is because Trevor Woods is 1-11, okay? All right, I guess here at TLP Sports Club, we're going to give him a name, a nickname. We're going to call them the Triple Ones, all right? Trevor Woods is a stayover of the Triple Ones. He's going to get a lot of respect from a lot of us because he didn't get up and run, or he wasn't told to leave. So Trevor is a baller. I covered Trevor during the spring. He had an interview. I did a video on Trevor. It seems like he's going to be one of the starters, if not the starter. I don't know how many safeties coach is going to put on that field, but it seems as if Trevor is written in, like for sure. Because if you guys watch one of the Well-Loved Media videos, Coach Prime was in that general room and he was giving a speech and he was talking about the different players who set the standards for the team.
Who's the key guys in certain positions? Quarterback, Shador, right? Key guy on your team?
Yes.
Think he does right more than he does wrong?
Yes, sir.
So he's pulling me right. Wrong ain't got a chance. Let's go defensive back. Travis, right? Dog. Is anybody question that? Does right. Don't blow too much stuff. Does the right thing. Right?
Yes, sir.
Wrong ain't got a chance. Receiver. Jimmy bad boy, ain't he?
Yes, sir.
Where you at, Jimmy? Y'all agree?
Yes, sir.
We got a couple of them. Ask where you at. They bad boys, right?
Yes, sir.
He does right more than he does wrong?
Yes, sir.
Wrong ain't got a shot, right? What about defensive line? Who is it, Shane? Y'all say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
What he does most of the time?
Right.
Lifestyle?
Right.
Wrong ain't got a shot. Safeties? Trevor? How Trevor live his life?
Right.
Schoolwork?
Right.
Assignments?
Right.
Wrong ain't got a shot, right? Now, let's flip this thing.
and he was waiting for somebody to say, who's your safety? Don't be afraid, say it. Most of us were probably waiting for us to hear Shiloh's name, but no, we didn't hear Shiloh's name. We heard Trevor Woods' name. Somebody screamed out, maybe one person or a couple of people said Trevor. All right, so that's the person that we're going to follow. That's the person that's our standard bearer. He wouldn't be on this team if he wasn't a baller. I like the fact that he's not afraid. He is not afraid to face challenges. That means he can play. It doesn't matter if they lost last year. He buys into the concept of what Coach Prime is trying to do at Colorado right now. The hard coaching, everything that Coach Prime is installing, even the screaming, no matter what it is, get into your face, give you compliments, tell you whether you're doing good, you're not doing good. Like Coach Prime always says, old school, hard-nosed coaching. Trevor seems to be that guy, and he can take that kind of coaching, and he ain't going to run from no competition. That gives you more insight of who's going to be on that field and who could we depend on as the constituents, as the fans. We know that Shiloh can hit. We know Shiloh can ball when a game is on the line. We need somebody in there that's not going to be afraid of a competition, that's not going to be afraid to look in the eyes of the opposing team and make a play. Somebody who's going through a lot of adversity and who stood his ground and says, I ain't afraid. I don't care how many people that coach brings in here. I'm a baller. I can play with anyone. Even though Shiloh had that extravagant rollout, that introductory video that he did that was epic and it was all over the media, even though that was there, it did not scare this kid off the field or out of that school. He stood his ground. He said, I can ball. And that's what matters. And that's why I wanted to cover this. So let's keep going.
His defense from what you were playing with Brian.
It's a lot different. You know, it's more of like a 3-4 kind of defense compared to a 4-3 kind of thing. So, you know, a lot more moving parts and stunts from the front and stuff like that. But it's a lot different.
Trevor, you played a lot the last couple of years. How has your game evolved? Are there some areas you feel like you've made a jump as a player?
Yeah, just in man coverage, just learning to play different ways. You know, last year I was improving a lot on my man coverage, but now I'm working on, you know, different techniques and stuff like that, ways to just change it up with the receivers and I mean, that's the biggest change really for me.
What kind of challenge is it going up against Shador every day?
It's good. I mean, it's not easy to get a pick off him. You know, when he takes chances, I mean, it's a calculated risk. You know, and he's putting in a bucket, so it's not easy.
What are his best traits?
I mean, kind of like I said, you know, he takes calculated risks. You know, it's not like he's just throwing check downs all game, but it's not easy to make a play on him just because he's putting it on the money. He's really accurate, and you know, I always like to, like he always talks, like we always kind of mess with each other. Like I'll try to disguise things, and you know, we kind of get that going.
I mean, I understand. We know a lot about Shador, okay? We're not going to keep talking more about Shador. I would like to know what are his traits. What are some of the good traits of Trevor Woods? I know he wasn't asked the question. He was asked from the media about Shador. And I mean, that's something that's common that we do. We talk about star players. Even if we're asking somebody else some questions, we're going to ask about the star players and the quarterback, obviously, because he is the leader of this team. And when they're on that field, he's the leader. Let's talk a little bit about his traits. The person that's standing in front of us, I already said, like, he's not afraid of competition. He was one of the first ones to get his number. The mindset that he has, not being afraid of what's in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Getting along with the other players when they're coming in, and they're probably going to be talking junk. If you know anything about sports and you know how kids do, they're going to come in there and they're going to put that 1 and 11, they'll 111, they're going to put that 111 in your face. He has to eat that. He has to be able to eat that, and then he has to play. If you understand Trevor's mindset, if you understand the kind of person that he is, if you watch his interviews, he's a steady kid. When I think about Shador, how steady Shador is, he's not up, he's not down, he's just kind of steady. He's just even keel. He's neutral. That's what I see about Trevor. I see Trevor being a neutral player. I don't see him up, I don't see him down. When you ask him a question, he seems confident. He's not going to throw anybody under the bus. He's not going to talk poorly about the other players. He's going to leave that up to us. We do enough of that. The 111s, they had a tough year. I don't know if you guys remember when Coach Prime played in that Celebration Bowl, his last game before leaving Jackson State. If you guys remember the kid that dropped the ball on the last play, I mean, that kid had a tough time, and I even made a joke. I was like, oh my goodness, everybody's going to get on this kid. First of all, he was one of the white kids on an all-black team, and then he happened to be the one that dropped the ball, and I felt so bad for him because I knew that he was going to get that work. He was going to get that heat. Not necessarily just from his teammates, but also from the outside people. I knew that was going to be a tough time, but I remember a video where Coach Prime was giving him some advice like, yo, shake it off. Everybody makes mistakes. like everybody has a day. Everybody has a time where they go through tough times, and tough times make great people. Your character is tested when you have a tough time. Your character is not necessarily tested when everything is going well. It's in those tough moments that you have to make tough decisions that gives you the idea of the type of person somebody is. What do they do? How do they respond when the tough gets going? Do they get up out of here, or do they stand their ground and say, I'm going to fight? Trevor's a fighter. You got very, very tough competitions. This ain't going to be no cakewalk. It ain't going to be no walk in the park where the position is just handed to you. It tells you about his grit, his character, standing strong no matter what, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how much people talk about you. You can look at him and you know that he's resolved. And I like that about Trevor. That gives me the confidence to know that this kid is going to be tough. I'm going to love watching 43.
Is there a bit of like a badge of honor that you and the other guys who kind of made it through the spring from last year's team and still here? It's always funny, you know. I mean, like, yeah, because they all just know like what all kind of we went through, you know. So they kind of just, it's like they respect us for sticking it out and staying even.
Just going back to that first team meeting when Coach Prime said that, what are you thinking in terms of him bringing his own luggage?
I mean, just ready to compete with whoever he brings in, you know. It didn't matter to me, really.
It didn't matter to him. I'm glad it didn't matter to him. That's what I've been saying. Kid can ball. If you can play, you can play. That's the thing about the coaching staff. Coach Prime knows, and he tells his guys, he tells his coaching staff, let's find some ballers. Let's find people who are going to make plays. We're going to look into their eyes and we're going to tell them the truth. We're going to be straight up with these kids. We're not going to play around with these kids' lives. These are lives that are on the line. There are dreams out there. These kids want to go to the NFL. Some of them want to do other things. The ones that want to go to the NFL, the ones that have NFL aspirations, you can tell who they are. You can tell the ballers from people that are just having fun. Not every young man on that team is going to go to the NFL. So some kids are just kind of like having fun with sports. They like sports. They're around the sport. They don't necessarily want to go to the NFL. They are playing football right now, but football is not end all be all for them. But you can tell some of the ballers and those who want to be in the NFL, I believe Trevor wants to be in the NFL. He has the NFL built, has the mindset. Coach Prime is going to do everything that he can do to get Trevor to where he needs to be in order for his NFL dreams to come true.
You guys might have needed from the spring, just kind of his pushing everybody to be better.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real good guy. We go up, you know, right after this lift, we'll get like basically all the DBs and, you know, linebackers and random guys walk in too. But we'll all go up and watch film, just the players, just us. But I mean, he brings a good vibe to the room.
Trevor, what's the adjustment been like for you learning from Coach Kelly?
I mean, it's been good, you know. I mean, he's one of the best safety coaches in the country, you know. So just trying to learn everything, absorb everything that I can from him.
How does it help the mental side of your game, knowing that you're still here and you're even in that starter conversation?
Say that again.
How does it help your mental side of your game?
I mean, it's just, for me, it's kind of like I know I can compete with guys. You know, no matter who's brought in, you know, I'm still in the contention, like you said, for the starting spot. So, you know, it's just I know I can play.
Obviously, I'm black, and I'm in the black community, and the way that we talk is a little different. The way that we joust, we be joning. Some people say we joan on each other. Just the way that we look at things is a little different. I don't know if it's humility that he's displaying, or it's just different for white guys. When they talk, they just kind of just say what it is. You know, I know I can play. When you listen to the Shadors, or you listen to Jimmy Horn, or when you listen to Travis Hunter, when they get asked those questions about their ability or competition, when you hear somebody from the African American community, when they talk, we say a little different. We add that extra flavor, that extra sauce. Trevor's just like, look, man, I can ball. I know I can play, so I don't care about no competition. It would just sound a little differently if it was coming from a black guy. This ain't no racial thing. I know y'all get all jittery as soon as somebody mentions race. If anybody else agrees with me, even if you're white or not, just come on, comment. Let me know. It's not a racial thing. It's just an observation.
The schemes you're running defensively this year to last year, has it been a lot to absorb, or has it been a pretty smooth transition?
It's a lot. You know, it's a lot more pressures and stuff like that. You know, than we ran last year, because we didn't run too much last year. So that's really been the biggest thing for me, is learning all different kind of pressures, all that.
Coach Kelly talks about a certain standard he wants you guys to all meet. What does that standard look like for you?
I'm sorry?
Coach, he wants you guys to meet a standard to meet that starting role. What does that standard look like?
Just, you know, whoever, you know, we all compete, and, you know, whoever's whoever's up there doing all the right things, that's the standard. You know, the standard is always, there's right or wrong, and Coach Brown talked about it yesterday. You know, there's right or wrong, whoever's choosing right all the time, that's the standard.
Trevor bears the standard on the safety squad, and I'm happy for this kid, man. I really want him to win. I really want him to play. I really want the triple ones to retell their story. I want the narrative to change for them. I really want him to be able to tell the story of how he was on that triple one and it changed and it turned around for them this season. We know that this team is going to win, but I want people like Trevor and whoever else is on that team that's from that triple one season, I want them to be able to tell the story and smile and be like, yeah, understand that adversities in your life is going to come. Things are not going to be perfect in your life, but it's what you do after that that matters in your life. You have to be able to put a foot to the metal, change, pivot, do whatever you have to do to change things. So that's a story that I want them to be able to tell, and I can't wait till the story's being retold where the triple ones can stand up and say, yes, that was then, but this is now. That's going to be a great day for people like Trevor and the other parts of the triple ones that are still there. I believe there are 10 scholarship players.
From this defense, has anybody kind of stuck out to you in camp, caught your eye?
I mean, a lot of guys. You know, Demoy, I mean, he knows the defense really well. His name's Shane. Shane's a beast. JD, same thing. He can rush the passer, but
still nailing down the names.
Yeah, but I'm learning. I've learned basically everybody's name by now, at least on defense. Yeah, okay.
Who would you say is the hardest receiver to cover?
Hardest receiver to cover? Because I'm not really lined up on the outside, so I don't really get to line up in front of Xavier much, or even really Travis. But so probably Jimmy.
I made a video where Jimmy Horn was pretty much the highlight of that video, where he caught a pass and then he turned on the jet speed, and he was pretty much burning the whole defense. We know that Jimmy's going to do well. We have a lot of depth on the wide receiver squad. Since this is a safety video, let's look at some of the other safeties real quick. Here are some of the other safeties that he's going to be competing with. You got Cameron Selman Craig, you got Jacquez Robinson. I believe that's Nate Robinson, the basketball player, the former NBA player. That's his son. And then you have Miles Slusher. You got Shiloh Sanders, you got Vito Tisdale, Ben Finseth, you got Roderick Ward, you got Jaden Melanet Jones, you got Brandon Miller, and then you got Trey Ortega, you got Austin Dalke. Austin Dyke, that's the German pronunciation. If you want to Americanize it, then we'll say Dalke, but Dyke would be the German pronunciation. And then of course we got Trevor Woods, who's number 43. They could possibly play multiple safeties, but keep in mind there could be only 11 players on that defense or the offense. If you put two safeties on the field, you got to get rid of one person. So somebody's got to go. Who goes? But we all know that Shiloh's a baller. We know that Cameron Selman Craig, he's a baller as well. We've seen Cameron in multiple videos. We know Trevor can play. We're talking about Trevor right now. These guys can ball. So competition is good. We got guys that are waiting to play. If you've ever played in this sport, if you are good and you know that the guy that's on the field, you're either better than or you can play just as well as he can play. But if he's having a good game, he stays in the game. Keep that in mind. So you got to be ready as soon as they put you on that field. And if you have a bad day, you're coming out. Somebody wants your job, and that's what it's all about. Whoever the next guy up is can ball just like the guy that's on that field. So the guy that's on that field has that incentive. He has that extra edge. He's thinking in the back of his mind, I got a ball. I got to make sure I make this next play. If I don't make this next play, they're going to pull me and they're going to put that next guy in. Not no negative pressure that he's thinking, oh my God, they don't have faith in me. They're going to take me out of the game because I'm having a bad game. Then that's on the coaches. The coaches make the decision. You don't bench your guy because he's having a bad game. If you just pull a guy because he's having a bad day, that's a way to kill his confidence. You want to build your players' confidence. There's a reward system, okay? You reward good players that are doing the good things. You reward them by letting the other guys know that this guy is a marquee player. This guy is the guy that we're all looking at, and you have to understand why we're looking at him. That lets that other player know, oh, well, now I got to step my game up. If this guy's being praised by the coaches, I want to get the same praise by the coaches. So that's how it is. That competition is that healthy competition that we need on this team in order for us to win games. The next guy know, man, we have so much depth on this position that if I don't show up to play, I know that I can be replaced and somebody's gunning for my job every single play. Go ahead and check the wide receivers, check the running backs, check the safeties on defense. Go ahead and check the DBs, the Travis Hunters, the Kwamani McLeans. Check those positions. How many more positions we have left? Do we have any deficiencies? I'm sure we do. I would say the biggest deficiency that most people keep talking about is going to be our trenches. We need to either get bigger, stronger, or we need to get more experienced guys in the trenches. Is there something being done about that? Yes. Go watch the video where I tell you the numbers. It's not as if they don't have the bodies, they don't have the numbers. The coaches got to step up and do what they got to do to make sure that the trenches are ready to play. The number one job for the trenches on the offense, protect the quarterback. That's the number one job. Protect that quarterback. If you protect the quarterback, we got to check on the quarterback position. Not a check as far as depth is concerned, but a check that we got one of the best quarterbacks in the Pac-12 currently. So that's a check in Shedeur Sanders. So if we protect him, our chances are great. Trevor talked about it. Going against Shedeur, it's not an easy thing. Are there going to be coaches that's going to be gunning to try to push Shedeur on the ground? If you're not a coach that's doing that, then you're not a great coach, because the goal is to win. So you do whatever it takes to get at that quarterback and get him on the ground as fast as you can. That's what you have to do. Goal is get to the quarterback, bang him up, okay? Smack the quarterback as fast and quick as you possibly can early in the game. Let him know that we're coming for him. If you're Colorado and you saying we're coming too. We're coming to smack your quarterback. That's what we got to do. So the trenches, we got to protect the quarterback. And then in the trenches on our defense, we got to get to that quarterback as fast as we can. We got to make sure that there's no run that's coming through here. We got to stop everything that's coming through this line. That's why the trenches is so very important. Man, we're looking good. Everything ain't great yet. We're trying to tie up all the loose ends, and the coaches are saying that. All the different position coaches are giving interviews, and I will cover some of the other interviews, but we're looking good on the safety end. And Trevor Woods, congratulations, my guy. Go Buffs. Okay, family, that's all I got for this video. I hope you got a little something out of it, but I'm going to leave it right there. You know who I am. I'm Harry B. And that right there was the Liberian Perspective. That's TLP Sports Club. Brah.